A press conference at the West Palm Beach Police Department where Chief Vincent DeMasi is set to tell us all what exactly was removed from the home of former Palm Beach County Commissioner Maud Ford Lee today.
We've been pressing for answers on this story all day. Now the chief about to tell us what's going on, or at least give us a glimmer, a sense of that at a live news conference. We're going to check in. The chief appears to be waiting. Maud Ford Lee, for those of you who don't know, 77 years old. She first went on to the Palm Beach County Commission in 1990. Not clear if she was even at home when all of this activity was going on today, but we're waiting to hear from the chief right now, Shannon.
Police surrounded that home earlier today, as you mentioned, Michael. They started roping it off with crime scene tape, and our reporters really started watching this just after the noon hour when police arrived. They saw several police officers arrive at first, and then crime scene units arrived on scene, started surrounding that home with police tape today. Once again, this is in the 600 block of Clear Lake Avenue is where Maud Ford Lee's home is. And then reporters started saying that boxes were being removed from the home throughout the day. Again, as we peppered officials with questions throughout this day, they have been very, very tight-lipped. Up until right now, we're about to hear, as you mentioned, from Chief DeMasi moments from now to figure out what exactly was removed from that home.
We're waiting for the chief as he's standing by. As you look at the scene, it looks like he's about to begin. Let's give this one more second. Can we listen in on the chief?
DeMasi, I'm the police chief of the West Palm Beach Police Department. The purpose of our meeting here this evening is to announce the arrest of 5 known gang members that occurred this afternoon at 602 Clear Lake, which is in the city of West Palm Beach. This incident, as you may be aware, and I know that you've all reported on, occurred Sunday, January the 12th at about 11 o'clock. We began receiving telephone calls of reports of shots fired, in particularly shots fired between 2 vehicles that were traveling southbound in the 300 block of Congress Avenue. Our officers were dispatched, and upon arrival, we came across a 12-year-old individual who I'll not identify because of his age, who was suffering from a gunshot wound to the back of the neck. I'm pleased to say that that young man has been released from the hospital and is back home, but is suffering from a very serious, nearly fatal gunshot wound. This shooting incident immediately ignited a massive response from the West Palm Beach Police Department, and what culminates now, some 5 days later, is a tremendous investigative effort by not only the West Palm Beach Department, but also by the Riviera Beach Police Department and the United States Marshal Service. There was a team that was immediately formed as a result of the gunshots, and in particular the fact that this young man had been shot. This launched into just an enormous investigation. Ultimately, the 5 individuals that were arrested were Mr. Javon Jackson, who's been charged with 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder with a firearm, 3 counts of shooting into an occupied vehicle, and 1 count of aggravated battery with a firearm. Mr. Deshelle McGrady, 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder with a firearm, 3 counts of shooting into an occupied vehicle, 1 count of aggravated burglary with a firearm, aggravated battery with a firearm, 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Mr. Corwin Fobbs, 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder with a firearm, 3 counts of shooting into an occupied vehicle, 1 count of aggravated battery with a firearm. Demarius Verdell, 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder with a firearm, 3 counts of shooting into an occupied vehicle, 1 count of aggravated burglary with a firearm, and 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Mr. James Randell, 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder with a firearm, 3 counts of shooting into an occupied vehicle, and 1 count of aggravated burglary with a firearm. As I mentioned, these individuals were the result, or the arrest of these individuals was the result of a tremendous effort by the police department, the Riviera Beach Police Department, and the Marshal Service. Extensive surveillances have been conducted through the week. This is an investigation in progress. I can tell you that as of about an hour ago, we had recovered numerous guns, drugs, and money from the residents on Clear Lake. There is an ongoing investigation there. The message that I think needs to go out is that this type of thuggery will not be tolerated in the city of West Palm Beach, that we will immediately respond to these types of shooting incidents with the full force and all the assets available to the West Palm Beach Police Department. We're extremely pleased and thankful for the assistance by the Federal Marshal Services and by the Riviera Beach Police Department for their cooperation. These 5 individuals have wreaked havoc on our communities for the last several months. They've been involved in numerous different types of crimes, and we believe that our cities will be much safer as a result of their incarceration. As you know, I've mentioned that some of these individuals had prior felonies. Again, as part of our overall initiative to reduce crime in this community, we will be asking the prosecutor to take a look at pressing felony charges against these individuals from federal charges against these individuals, which will result, our hope is, will result in not only their conviction, but in extensive prison sentences for very long durations, much higher than what we could get under state charges. So we will be actively seeking federal indictments from them as well as part of our investigation. I'm very thankful to our officers. I can tell you that I got the call on Sunday afternoon, and I know that our teams at least have been working nonstop since then to bring these individuals to justice. So again, I'm extremely pleased and thankful for the work of the men and women of the West Palm Beach Police Department and the other agencies that were involved. There was an enormous outcry from our community. And I can tell you that, as I mentioned before, that this type of conduct will not be tolerated in any way, shape, or form. If it occurs in our city, we're coming after you as hard as we can, and we're coming after you with everything that we have. I'm extremely thankful to the men and women of this agency who made that come true. I can answer a few questions, perhaps, if you have any.
Chief, why were these individuals in the home of the former Palm Beach County Commissioner?
Yes, this is the home of the former Palm Beach County Commissioner. She has absolutely, or that family has absolutely nothing to do with this. The home was rented and was being rented by an individual who has nothing to do with her whatsoever. So it's a rental type of an agreement, and unfortunately, apparently involved in some type of activity as well, criminal activity as well.
Are the people who are renting the home also?
You've been listening to West Palm Beach Police Chief Vince DeMasi talk about a major arrest. His words, the arrest of, quote, 5 known gang members on charges ranging from attempted murder to aggravated battery, all for an incident last Sunday where a little boy is caught up in gunfire, wounded in the neck, could have been a near fatal wound. He will survive. And there'd been a question about the fact that so much of the evidence, including guns and drugs, collected today from the home of a former Palm Beach County Commissioner, Maud Ford Lee.
That's right. Money, guns, drugs, all pulled out of there. And our reporters were around that home throughout this day. So many questions as we searched and found that former Palm Beach County Commissioner had served as a Palm Beach County Commissioner here for 10 long years, that she owns that home. But it turns out in the press conference, we're finding out she had rented it out to the individuals potentially who are tied to this crime.
And underscoring what the chief said, because there'd been so much attention because it was the former Palm Beach Commissioner's home, absolutely no connectivity to that family whatsoever, only the fact that they own their property, had rented it out. That is the only reason that all of that came up. The larger story, though, as the chief said, violent thuggery here, not tolerated, a state and federal investigation that leads to arrest of 5 gang members, all for a little boy caught up in gunfire. We see this happen so often in our community, and big arrests today.
Meanwhile, turning the page now to another important story. So many people talking right now. We're going to move on now.